Mm. 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 It's all right. Yeah, I'm live. What do you know? Okay, allow me to begin here. Tonight, I will be covering the murder of Ann Paetz in Genesee County, Michigan. Foremost. However, I want to point this out. I went to the eye doctor yesterday. Thought I was going blind. I did. So I go to the eye doctor and I told him, I'm like, well, I haven't been to an eye doctor since like 1985. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah. So I had no eye issues. Why go if you ain't got an eye issue? Why would you go to an eye doctor? You see where I'm at? But man, it's starting to give me some fits with my eyes. You know, I tell him. So he says, well, let's take a look. He looked at my eyes thoroughly. And he said to me, and I quote, your eyes perfect, man. Fantastic. Even took a picture of my retina. And he's like, would you look at that retina? My God, it looks like somebody just went in and Hoover cleaned it. And you must be very proud of that retina. I might hang this on my office wall if you don't mind. Fair enough, man. Hang it on your office wall. Don't tell people where it came from. So anyway, my eyesight's perfect, so I can still look into cases. Thank you. Thank you. And let's see. Also, my second obsession here, Dave, how you doing? Is this rock. Look at this rock. Look at it. Take a good hard look at this rock. This rock is still unidentified. All of this up here, every place where it's black, well, like so, up to here, down over in here, around. All of that is where animals had gnawed on it because it's showing the inside of the rock, which is like a very dark brown, waxy color. And I sent this to a few lapidaries, stone experts. One of them said, well, it's bioluminescent coal probably is what he picked up. I'm like, no. Say, hey, bioluminescent coal. I don't know what that looks like. This ain't anything like that. So this melts under a flame. You know, I mean, it turns like wax. It's like a hard wax, stone is what it looks and feels like. So I don't know what to make of it. She wrote me back and said, well, is there any way it could be slag? No, it's not slag, man. Believe you me. I wouldn't have found that in the woods if it was a piece of like some ancient slag. I said, besides that, man, it's like wax because she said, and I quote, it does look like you found a big rock of jet rock, you know? Like, man, I found a big rock of jet rock? Really? In Indiana? I want you guys to think about that, man. That'd be cool. Only because it would be so rare. It ain't that like jet rock is worth a whole lot of money. It might be, I don't know. But I mean, I've never seen where anybody said, oh, I'll pay you huge money for that jet rock. But that piece that big coming from Indiana, dude, man, let me tell you, man, that'd make some history right there. I'd give that to a museum and say, there you go. And aside of that, man, I wonder about the teeth marks on it and as to what animal did that and when. I mean, if it's that old, man, I don't know, man, what? Like, prehistoric rodents or something chewing on it. I don't know, man. But I don't know what to make of it. Nobody has the answers. It's odd. And I'm keeping it. It belongs to the kingdom of cat. There you go. Tonight, I have a guest lined up. Somebody coming on. Or as we like to call him, the OG. The real OG. I don't even know what OG means. Somebody help me out, man. What is OG? What does OG mean? Is that like old gangster or something like that? I mean, I don't even know, man. Yes, I will be having a guest on because the two of us will be speaking about the murder of Ann Paetz. This person knows the case, I hope. I really hope. And we will kind of be covering that. Original gangster, thank you. Super B, man, right on, man. The original, all right, man. Hey, thank you all. Thank you for Jean-Claude. Hey, man, how'd you get that little knot on your forehead, Jean? Well, yeah, what was that all about? I've always questioned that. It's like a guy walks into a bar. He didn't see it. You see where I'm at? It probably wasn't that funny. But anyways, so we will be discussing that upon this person's arrival. You already know who it is. So calm down out there, man. Take a breath. Or a vape. Grab your favorite vice. Dr. Pepper. It's the real OG. The real original gangster, man. Ah, I see. Kicked yourself so deadly. All right, man. Right on. Oh, yeah, 100%, man. Right on, man. Right on, Michael. See, I always, because you got me doing it, man. That's why I start to say Mitch now. See, I always threw that until people started throwing it back up again. Now you're going to be Mitch, who was a fine boxer. Make no mistake, he was a good boxer. Let's see. Well, while we wait a moment. When I was at the eye doctor yesterday, I told him, I'm like, well, I said everything far away is fine. I mean, I have no issue with further away, but it's just so far away from my face. So he says, well, what kind of job do you do? I said, well, I'm disabled. I said, I had a brain aneurysm in 1996. He's like, oh, well, then what's your job? I said, I make videos. Oh, yeah, about what? Delphi, and we're in Florida, He's all like, oh, kind of a home to you. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm covering the Delphi murders. To wit, he kind of did one of these looks. One of those. So then he turns back around to begin. He goes, you think they'll ever find the guy that did that? I said, they already have. So I got one of these. Okay. He goes, well, I get like customers in here, man, all the time that's talking about it. And so who do you think did it? I gave him my suspect. That's why I told him. Well, why do you think he did it? It's a lot of reasons, man. A lot of reasons. Well, why ain't they filing charges? I said, remember Daniel Nations? Remember how they went to go talk to him and couldn't? Same reason. This guy's down there on first-degree murder. If they filed charges now, his public defender would say, great, we want a quick and speedy trial, and there'd be no way for Indiana to get him here, meaning he'd win. That's why. So he says to me, I had a customer in here, and he told me, he says, man, if they ever name who did it, that guy will never see court. You know what I mean? I said, man, have you ever heard of Amber Green? No. I said, well, back in 1869, right up the road here, and I ain't going to give you the directions to it, but I said, you go right up here and you make a road, blah, 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 and, like that. I said, right there, man, that's where they hung him. Right there, that's where they lynched him. And I got to look like this. Thought nothing of that. I really didn't think anything of that kind of look that he was giving me. Like, right? Until after I left. Then I remembered that my dad's next door neighbor is an eye doctor. And I was talking about, I said, when you go around right there, and he's like, I probably thought I was talking about lynching him maybe, if it's the same eye doctor, but less than a mile away, probably is. Probably is. So, anyway, see, I'm killing time till he arrives, but we got to wait a moment. Should be any time now, though. Hey, well, while we wait, Sharon, T&J, Truth and Justice Channel, Michael Green, Sharon Parker, Super B Wonder, Christy Lynn. Hey, Christy, how you doing? Watcher on the Wall, Jean-Claude, Lake Michigan, full of hate, Carolyn, Cher. Anybody I'm missing here? Anybody? David Clark. See? Have to scroll up. Michael Cat, how are you doing, man? Heard your pretty premiere. Oh, this is not. Oh, Junie. There we go. There's another. This is not a premiere. And, oh, Jean-Louis Finch, right? I hope that's correct. How you doing? So see now right here at the beginning, this is where I just got to talk. Wait. I could get into the aspects of the case, but this is why I got a guest on, so that this person and I can discuss this like days of old. Does anybody remember the days of old? It just seems like the other day, but it wasn't. It was quite a while ago now. A long time. And we used to set aside of sleeping 24 on the 7 and discuss the Delphi case. I could. You're right. But hold on. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for the whole puppy comment, man. Let me tell you something. I ordered him a bow tie, a tie-dye bow tie with little puppy paws and bones on it and stuff, man. I got him a little hat where his ears come out. I'm getting pictures, man. That's the most adorable dog, like the face of the planet right now. I love having him around, man. I really do. Puppy, man, he takes up my whole day. Yeah, bow tie for him, man. Get a little bow tie, man. I mean, he's got that little cocked head with the droop tip. Can't wait, man. Can't wait for that. It's going to be outstanding. Oh, crap. Hold on. Man, my bad. Hang on. Give me a quick second. I got to do something here. Holy crap. That's what you call forgetting. Apologize, everyone. Quick second, man. Quick. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I forgot to send him a link, man. So they couldn't have made it if they wanted to. A Rudolph nose? Really? Yeah. Okay. You know what? Me and Puppy's going to have a Christmas. I don't think we'll do it live, but we'll videotape it because I want everybody to see him open these packages. I mean, I can say what it is. He's sleeping and he can't hear me. You see where I'm at? He don't know what he's getting, so don't nobody tell him. Don't nobody like email him and stuff and let him know. You're a little upset on that. Oh, yeah? Sadie? Yeah, I like golden retrievers. My neighbor's got one. Real good dogs. All right. Well, okay. Well, let me. People, I'm sorry. Let me tell you. You move the mouse clicks. You know what? It's going to take you out every time. Why? Don't know. It just does. Anyways, let me get on with this and start discussing the case. All right. All right. Did that. Talked about that. We've done the math. We know all that. All right. And Paetz, murder. And Paetz, the way that I am to understand this, and believe me, I've done very little in the way of investigating any of this. But apparently the way that it goes like so. At 2 o'clock in the morning on July 2nd, 1999, Ann Paetz was driving from Saginaw to Montrose, Michigan. Both are in Michigan. Now, I got pictures of this that I want to go over when my guest arrives. However, now she was driving, apparently, the way I think, and there are two differing routes. But I believe that she came down highway or Interstate 75 and then made a right onto Highway 57, heading west to Montrose. Now, it's about a 6-minute drive or a 6-mile drive from Interstate 75 to Montrose in Genesee County. Now, her car broke down 3 miles from Montrose on its east side on Highway 57. Now, this was at a time because apparently she left Saginaw at some time right around or right before 2 a.m. in the morning. And it's about a 20-minute drive to where she was. Now, I think that she got there probably a couple of minutes because her car broke down. And she was at the halfway point between I-75 and Montrose on Highway 57. Her car breaks down, and it's about 20 after 2 in the morning, somewhere right in that area. Now, someone coming from Montrose, is my belief, heading elsewhere, seen that her car was broke down and she was there, picked her up, brutally raped her, and then disposed of her body 12 miles away on Farland Road, which is a country road. Now, I will move on to the thing that law enforcement had a couple of suspects in this case. And they went to one of the people's houses to investigate and have a search warrant for items that they were seeking that were involved with the crime. Now, they went to this man's house and they found a handgun. Now, the defendant in this case, the one that they was seeking stuff on, he fought against that because the search warrant was specifically for a knife. You know, it had nothing to do with a handgun. Now, that right there tells you that a knife was used to kill Ann Paetz. Now, it made mention that her neck was sliced open in a differing report that I found. So, with that in mind, and while we'll get to the pictures here in just a brief, I am bringing on the original OOG.
What's going on? YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or wherever the hell you're watching from. I'm Anthony Garino from True Crime Investigates. What's going on, dude?
How you doing, man? Hey, that's a sweet ass hat you got, man.
Yeah, I like that hat. I think that's I know where I got
it, man. Where can I get one like that?
Bro, you got one on your head.
Well, look quite a bit alike, man. All right. So anyway, we was going to be talking about the murder of Ann Paetz. I was just going over the, like letting people know the, whoa, man, there it is. Was you fixing your green screen?
Yes, I was.
I see. Yeah, it showed. So I was just kind of briefing everybody on what had happened. Now, I got photos here, but I wanted to kind of us to discuss this a bit.
Okay.
Good. Lay out some information.
I'm sorry?
If you could just, kind of reiterate a little of what you know on this, and it'll begin our back and forth.
Okay, so basically it's a cold case from 1999. It was a younger girl. I can't remember. I think she was 23 at the time.
Yep.
Yeah, she was 23. So she was going from, I believe it was Saginaw, Michigan to Montrose Township, and she was headed there to see her boyfriend. That happened on July 2nd, 1999. And well, she never made it there. Her car was found on, I believe it was like Michigan State Road 57, which was like, it's 3 miles west of I-75. Her body was also found along a road called Farron Road in Thetford Township, 15 miles from her car. So she was murdered, and pretty much to this day, police have not received or released any kind of cause of death.
I did read that. Okay, on the, and you know what? I don't know how to phrase this, because they did a search of a man's house that they suspected could have did this. and they found a gun. But then he fought back on that because the search warrant only indicated a knife. Now, when you can go from that and find that her neck was sliced. Now, I don't think that that was publicly released by law enforcement, but it is on the web. I did find that.
Okay. Now, so they had was that the Jeffrey Willis guy? Is that who you're talking about?
You know what? Maybe.
He was like arrested.
Probably.
Brought the case to light. Like he was a Western Michigan guy. Okay. Well, I think there was enough similarities between the deaths of this guy. He was accused of killing 2 women in Western Michigan. But they wanted a DNA sample of this guy. Well, they took the DNA sample and the DNA samples didn't match. So it's like law enforcement was pretty much, they said they was grasping at straws and hoping the DNA would hit. But so far they haven't had anything. Now, I noticed that they did release a surveillance photo in 1999 of a man that they believed was the killer, but that person was never found. And I haven't been able to find their surveillance photo.
From where?
I'm not, it doesn't say. Like the articles that I found, it just says police released a surveillance photo in 1999 of the person that they believed was the person, but they never located that person. So I've been searching for it all day.
Yeah, I say, man, I would like to know from where. There's a couple businesses on Highway 57 from Montrose out to Highway 75. Now, that would probably be, if she was broke down this way, somebody that was going, well, it could have been in either direction, I would imagine, depending upon which direction he was going. But from where her body was found, you would believe that it would be east of where where her vehicle was parked.
Right.
At a time right after. Now, the way that I understand it, she left Saginaw at 2 in the morning.
Okay.
And law enforcement found her vehicle there on Highway 57 at 2:40. Now, it's a 20-minute drive from Saginaw. That's just straight Saginaw, because I don't know exactly where in Saginaw she came from. But from Saginaw to that place where her car was found is a 20-minute drive. So we can guesstimate that it would have happened between 2:20 and 2:40 in the morning would have been her abduction. Well, actually, I wouldn't even call it an abduction. You know, if you're a woman that young and you're on the highway and your car breaks down and somebody stops and says, hey, I can give you a lift into Montrose, you know, you would probably go like, well, yeah, you'd be helping me out. Thank you. And get in the car. It may not have been an abduction, but it may have been an abduction. You know,
without the person knowing that it was going to be happening. Yeah,
exactly.
You know, hop on in, I'll give you a ride, and all of a sudden things go south. Kind of like that reminds me of whatchamacallit. What's his name? Out in California. Oh man, dude, he's a serial killer, dude. Ed Kemper. Ed Kemper would pick up the hitchhikers. Hey man, let me give you a ride. You know, and he'd end up chopping their heads off and going crazy on them.
Their heads off. Dude, I know. And again, man, I mean, because it ain't a place to make light of, really. But what I'm saying is, I mean, that's just kind of some weird phrasing. He just lopped their heads off.
I mean, he would.
Well, he did. But I mean, I do stand to the side, at least in part of Ed Kemper. I mean, he seemed very much remorseful for what he did. And even family members of some of the women that he had killed said, like, well, we know he did that, but we feel that he did the right thing and was very remorseful, and we can't really hold that on him, you know. Right. So Ed Kemper, man, I like watching these interviews.
I do too. He's a really interesting person to listen to. And I think that the FBI, I was watching a documentary on, I think it was HLN, it's had a TV show called Very Scary People, and it was highlighting serial killers and stuff. And the FBI profiler said, look, we got a lot of information out of Ed Kemper because he wanted to talk. He wanted to tell his story. He wanted people to know why he did what he did. And it gave them a lot of light into the mindset of people like that, you know? So that was a good thing that they could actually get that information out of him.
Now, when I heard him speaking, he said, and I mean, this is just what he said, not exactly as, but he said something to the effect of, well, when it comes to mothers influencing people to kill serially like this, you would think that they would look at me as a prime example and have a lot of psychologists in here talking about that with me. He goes, they really don't. He goes, one comes in once a week. How you doing? How you feel? Blah, blah, blah. And he leaves. Now, I think that they got a lot out of him when he confessed, but it really seems like for about 40 years, they haven't really went back and talked to him in depth about it.
Right.
He's in a state mental hospital in California, and you would think that that would be, God, man, kind of like their Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
You know, where they're like, well, we have Ed Kemper here. He's, you know, and like some crazy nutty guy watching over him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. So what do you think happened with Ann Paetz? I mean, are they still, are they, pretty much it's a cold case. I mean, have they looked into anybody else? Do they have any leads? Probably nothing, huh?
Well, not exactly nothing. And, you know, it's like you're setting me up. I like that. I appreciate it, man. Right, here's to because, of course, I did call Sheriff Chris Swanson of Genesee County.
They're the best sheriff in the world right now, I would say.
You know what? I must agree that of all law enforcement I've ever talked to, I felt the best after talking to him. The guy really got away with words. It's incredible. One day they'll rig the election so that he becomes
he becomes president.
They've done it before, you know. Let's think about it, man. It ain't out of line to suggest that.
Yeah.
You know. But you know, he could. And I mean, I see it in him. He's a motivational speaker, and I mean, he really pulls people to his side. He really does. And I mean, I've had people email me and talk to me and say one day he'll be governor. You know, I mean, that's just how we feel about him.
Yeah.
Now, back on Ann Paetz, in that crime, they do have fingerprints and DNA.
Yeah.
And they have no suspect that matches to either.
Exactly. So that means that the person has never committed a crime. Well, never been caught committing a crime before.
You know, it's I feel the same way as you. It's because every single time you start to say he's never committed a crime, you got to stop because somebody in chat will say, never been caught committing a crime. Never been caught.
Yep. It's like this clockwork, man. They're just waiting for it. They've already got it typed out, just waiting to hit enter. You know,
gotta go and copy and paste. Never been caught.
Oh. It's so good.
So yeah, every time I say that, I say the same. Never been, well, excuse me, never been caught committing a crime.
Right.
Not that they never had. So, of course, yeah, I do have a suspect here. I mean, it's pretty much known by the community because I have spoke about this. I think I did 2 separate lives. Now, when I called Sheriff Chris Swanson, I did that to leave a tip on the murders of Mary Pryor and Ann Paetz. So I gave him the information that I had. And he asked me how I came across them. Mm-hmm. So, well, how did you come across these cases? I said, well, I'm pretty much convinced that he did Delphi. And I said, I started following where he was from the Navy to Flint, to Jackson County, you know, to St. Louis County, to Imperial, you know, like that. And I said, I was looking around those areas and counties for unsolved rape and murders, you know, that kind of fit a time element that I could attach to him. I said, so since he lived in Flint, oh man, you know what? Hold on. Let me do this.
Pulling up a map.
Yeah, I'm pulling up some pictures here.
You got pictures of her?
Do what?
You got pictures of her?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say I was just going to Google and pulling some up. There you go. All right. Oh, dude, excellent. I was just going to Google and pulling and grabbing it. Save, so people could see. Because I see people are in there saying, well, I don't know who this girl is. Well, there you go. Now you guys can see exactly who she is. There's Ann Paetz.
That's Ann Paetz right there. Now, she was 23. This is another photo of her. Now, she was going from Saginaw down here to Montrose, down here. Now, this is I-75, and this is where it connects right here by, I think that's Clio. And you make a right onto Highway 57. Now, she was found about midway between Montrose and Highway 75 is where her car was located. Wait, maybe I should just go to the next photo. She had a 1995 Ford something. What's the name of it?
I couldn't tell you anything about cars, man.
Crap. Okay, well, that's what it looked like. Different. Now, this is whereabouts she was, her car was found there on. Now, it's called Vienna Road, but that is also Highway 57.
Okay.
Same. Now, this over here, this is where her body was found. Right here.
Okay.
Now, you see, this is my.
Pull it a little bit closer if you can. There you go.
Okay, this is Highway 75, and this is Montrose. It's about in here, about over in here area, to make it about 3 miles west of, right there.
Okay. And she was found way over there.
Yes. Now, this is the directions from where she was found down here to where the body was, here. Let me blow that up a little bit. So her car was here where she was picked up, but over here is where a body was found. Now, it was found approximately 5 hours after the time of the crime, because she was found the following morning around 7:30 in the morning by a jogger who seen her laying inside of a road, neck slit open.
Okay.
Same here. Now, that's on East Farland and North Vassar Road where a body was found. And again, this is from the abduction, or the part where her car was found here, back over to here. Now, that gives it a 15.8. Now, this way here, if he was to maintain, and I don't think he did, but he could have drove one this way, got out in here, committed the crime, and dumped her there. But, you know, we could only guess on that.
Right.
So,
well, what's the boyfriend's alibi? Was he just not there? Was he at home?
I don't know. Law enforcement never said.
See, that'd be interesting to know, is what the boyfriend alibi is, and where he lives in relevance to all this. You know, where exactly was she going? You know, so where is the exact address?
I would have to believe from where her car was found out and the direction to there that he must have lived west of where her car was found. If she came down I-75 with a right onto Highway 70 or 57 heading to Montrose, and it being in Montrose Township that he lived, he probably lived onward west from where our car broke down, I would believe. Now, I would think, because normally it is the case in a murder like this, that the first people they get talked to are friends and family. And for that reason, I would think her boyfriend was
probably high on the suspect list. Yeah. So he has obviously probably been cleared. I guess the question is there any kind of love triangle that was going on? You know, was there any jealousy from an ex-boyfriend? You know, and I doubt it would be a female that committed this crime. You know, like a former girlfriend of his that was stalking her and wanted to kill her. I doubt that's the case. You usually don't find that too often. It's possible, but you don't find that.
Well,
or it's just a random person looking for an opportunity.
It's just me. But I mean, like, if you're looking back at 1999, people had cell phones, but those cell phones really didn't connect to the internet.
Right.
You see where I'm at? It was just a cell phone at that time. So you really didn't have the luxury of having the internet on your phone in 1999. Now, with that in mind, she could have called somebody and they could have followed her and her car broke down. I mean, that could be. But as far as a love triangle, I would kind of rule that out because, well, the person would have to be driving behind her. would have to be stalking her 24/7. And if that was the case, she would have known about it. So would her friends, that somebody was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that person probably would have been talked to, I would believe.
Right. Yeah, they probably would have been tipped in or at least questioned in the course of the investigation. So,
Now, I did phone it. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I did phone a tip in to the tip line on this. And
okay.
I called. And I gave my the suspect's name, of which we probably all know. And she said, I think that name's already been tipped in. I'm like, really? She goes, hang on a minute. And
she typed in, she's sitting there typing it, Ron Logan. Man.
Ron Logan. Oh, I hope he ain't watching. You know, if so, he said that, not me. Not me. So, you know, she goes, she was only like put me on hold for maybe like 20 seconds. And she came back and she says, yeah, we already got that name. I said, well, okay, well, did you get that recently? She's like, well, I'm not at liberty to discuss like when anything came in. I'm like, okay, well, thank you. But it put into my mind. And let me get to this in pictures here real quick. Man, how do I? Okay. Oh shit. Oh, man, what am I doing? Just tell me that. All right. Oh, man, all right. So, anyways, this right here is from the Sheer Happiness Saloon in Montrose.
Okay.
To the house of, at that time, the suspect down here. This is where he lived at. Okay. Now he would have to take Highway 57 out to here and then south. Now at 2 o'clock in the morning, since at that time in 1999, it was a one-bar town, with that right there being the only bar. Somebody, I believe, left that bar. Now, here's something that you may know and others should know, is that the DNA that they said they found was on a ring that Ann was wearing, because apparently she had punched the guy and left DNA on the ring. But then they go on to say, though, that it was found on her clothes and in her, you know, because she was sexually assaulted. So now here's my thoughts. If somebody left that bar at just after 2 in the morning, heading down to Flint, they would have crossed where she was at, where her car was broke down.
Okay. Well,
so now when he goes back, because in this town of Montrose is like 1,500 people. And I mean, it's like half the size of Delphi, less than half the size of Delphi, little bitty town. Now, somebody would have asked, because the brutality of that act and the time that the car was found, did you see that car out there last night when you left? Now, if this guy had any marks on his face that he could not account for, or said, oh, this happened or that or something else, I think that it would have put a suspicion into their mind that, hey, maybe this guy knows more than what he's saying.
Right.
And I think that that might be how he got tipped in.
Yeah, now I could see that.
Now this here, right here where the red dot is, that is where a body was found. That's East Farland and North Vassar. But notice that all this right here is wooded.
Yeah.
See, all the way around through here. And this would be a body of somebody that kind of knew the area that would have dropped her body off there.
Yeah.
This here, again, this is from the pub to the point of where her car was at. That is a 3-minute drive at 2.3 miles.
Okay. That makes sense.
That's her again. Now, down here, says, on appeal, defendant argues that trial counsel should have been moved to suppress the gun and the ski mask on the grounds that the warrant was unduly broad. Specifically, the affidavit in support of the warrant did not indicate the involvement of a gun in the murder of Van Paetz or any other particular article of clothing involved. In fact, the affidavit, hang on a second, I got to blow this up because I got a spot on my screen that does not work. So kind of got to go around that. In fact, the affidavit, I think that delivers. something, that the victim's neck had been cut and that the autopsy determined the cause of death to be loss of blood due to the slice wounds to the neck area. There is no mention of the involvement of a firearm. Furthermore, the affidavit makes no mention of any particular piece of clothing to be searched for that would link the defendant to the crime. That's where it says that it was neck wounds.
Okay.
Now,
so that's the cause of death, even though the police never released that. It said it in that document.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. They didn't publicly release that. And if you look up a cause of death, they'll say it's never been publicly released, but there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
That is publicly released. I mean, if they didn't want that out, fine. I mean, and I understand why, but it was already out, if you see where I'm at. It's already there for people to find.
Right. Yeah, they dropped the ball on that one, didn't they?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. So, okay, so she's definitely cut. So it's someone with a knife, someone that knows, or someone that was in the area. I know that who you think it is. So this is interesting. So Mary Pryor and Ann Paetz are in the same county.
Yes. In fact, they're just miles up the road from one another.
Okay. Now, how big of a time difference is it from one crime to the next?
Just under 2 years.
Under 2 years. And
Yeah.
when did your suspect leave the area?
I do believe that was in 2003 is when he left Flint and moved to Jackson County, Missouri.
Okay, so was Mary Pryor in 97?
97.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything else going on weird around there with the girls?
Well, specifically just in that county. Now, I found others outside of that county, but I can't attribute to why he would have been there unless he was just out and it was a opportunity.
Yeah, friends or something like that, hanging out. Yeah.
But
we don't know who he was connected to.
Montrose and Lennon, like right there, I think they're 13 miles apart, and that's on Highway 13 going up and making a right onto 57 to get to Montrose. They're like 13 miles apart. Lennon is population 450 people, making it the size of Burlington.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, that's tiny.
She was 83. She lived across the highway from the bar. Everybody in that town knew her. She was like, everybody knew this old lady, you see? And when law enforcement didn't have a suspect, they're like, well, we need to know who it is. Because right now, how can we trust our neighbors to be truthful? Because we don't know who did this to her. Yeah.
Well, they would certainly fit the profile of your suspect.
Well, yes, but specifically on these two, that's what I'm kind of, oh, and DNA and fingerprints were left at, I should say, Mary Pryor.
When do you expect to hear anything about that? Probably not for a while, huh? 2 years?
Oh, God, I've been there. I've been down that road a couple years ago.
A couple more years coming up.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be. I think if we make it till August the 2nd, we'll probably know it a month or two after that. So you look at August, September, October of 2021. That's when I would suspect that charges would be filed.
Man. Okay, dude, this dude is looking like he's got a lot of stuff all over the place. You know what I mean?
Well, I can attribute these to him, and I have. I mean, I called both in. But I called both in because when I called in Mary Pryor, it was kind of get a gauge because I had never called Anna Tip before, ever. Mm-hmm. And Mary Pryor was the first because I wanted to see what they were going to say back to me. To my disregard, it was not law enforcement. It was the operators at the tip line just taking the information. You see, so I didn't really get a feel as to what they knew because they don't know. They're not. You just write the stuff down that you say so that they can pass along to law enforcement.
Right, exactly.
Now, I passed that to them about Mary Pryor and this suspect, and the same with Ann Paetz. Now, when I called about Ann Paetz, I was given some information, and they says, well, maybe you should call law enforcement. So I tried to call the sheriff. Now, that's how I got the call back from it, because, I left my number. It was a tip regarding Mary Pryor. And I think that's why he called me back, because he's very deep into the Mary Pryor case. He's known about it for many, many years, back when he was the undersheriff. And before that, I mean, he's traveled to try to get that case solved. And he told me, I'm taking your tip. I will go down and talk to that man. Said, yes, do. God's praying.
Can you record it for my channel, please?
No, I say, hey, he's the one that said that. He goes, and when it is solved, I'm going to be on your show. So fuck for ya.
On the delay.
But I think that when it is solved and it's all been through court, that's going to be probably in an area of about 3 years from now.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, because everybody's got to go down and talk to him, and I don't know how they're going to do the case.
Right.
It seems like of all of them, they would roll it into one. But if they roll that into one, it's not going to be in any particular state. It would probably be federal. Because it's multi-state.
Yeah, he would definitely have some charges. Yeah, he would have to. I'm not sure how that works, man. I've never actually seen that.
I know. That's where I'm at. I'm like, but I don't exactly know what it is that they would need to make it a federal case. But if it isn't a federal case and they do them individually, dude, they'd have to go clear out to California, roll all those into one, then up to Michigan, roll those, then to Iowa, and and it would take a very long time till it got to Delphi.
Well, he's not getting charged in Tennessee, though.
Very, very true, but that may change over time, depending on how they want to do that, because they was taking it to the next highest level after that turned them down. But I told everybody that judge is going to turn it down. They want no part of saying that Smedley Alley was innocent.
Yeah, I know, and that's bullshit, dude. How they would do that? They'll just be like, "Oh, well, sorry about you." It's like, dude, you killed a dude, man. If he's innocent, he's innocent. You killed a dude. That completely overthrows what justice is supposed to be.
Exactly.
It's like back in the day, you just take a dude out back and just drop him by the noose, and it's like, well, he didn't do it, man. Oh, yeah, my bad, dude. That's kind of what they do.
Well, what's he going to do about it now, right? A little late for that.
Sorry, man. Put that on his headstone. I didn't do it. Or he didn't do it.
He was executed for the murder of John Joe Smith, but he really didn't do it.
But he really
said that after the fact. He didn't really do it.
He was the closest thing to die. Yeah, if you're accused, you're guilty. That's the way they look at it.
Well, you know what? It took him 20 years after the time of his conviction to the time they killed him. I mean, he got a rap on that in 1986, and they killed him in 2006. 20 years on death row.
Yeah,
now, I want you, or in everybody, to imagine that you've been hit with a crime that you did not do, and you're in prison for 20 years. Now you're getting the needle. Where are your thoughts at that time?
I'm screwed. I mean, you're hit. Basically, you're just, I don't know. Your thoughts are, man, I didn't really do this. They're about to kill me. But I think that my thoughts would also be like, you know what, dude, just kill me, man. I'm tired of being in prison. Let's get it over with. Let's go.
Yeah.
We expedite this. Let's get it on. I mean, at first you're probably like, dude, no. But after spending that much time and realizing that you're just not getting out, it's like, let's do it.
Well, and I do wonder about this, because now he said that he was coerced into the confession. Well, and I think about this. If somebody comes at me, hey, we believe you did this. I didn't. Well, we think you did. Well, what are they going to say to me that's going to make me confess to something that I did not do when I know I'm facing a capital punishment? How can you coerce me into making admittance to that?
I don't know. Because
And
I'll tell you what, right now, if they come at me and it's like, you did this and this and this, and I didn't do it, I am not saying that I did anything that I didn't do. I'm going to be like, you know what, dude? Bam! Here's a finger to you, dude. Head on out of here.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
good luck.
Yeah, because I would not admit to doing that. Now, even like his admission, and I forget what the whole dynamics behind that was, but she had I apparently been cut or damaged down here in her lower right hand body, and he said that he was doing something with her car and she like tried to help and she fell down onto a screwdriver he had, all kinds of weird shit that just didn't match what it was they was looking at. They should have known. They had to have known that, man, maybe we're screwing up here, man. Maybe this guy really didn't do it. In fact, from the looks of it, they basically got him because his car sounded like the car that the Marines heard leaving.
That's
leaving
not
the area.
See, that's the problem with the system, man. It's like, oh, it sounded like the same car. Well, how many other millions of cars out there sound like that? You know, it's just all circumstantial evidence, no defined proof, and that's why they was looking for that DNA. You know, they wanted to test that DNA against whatchamacallit down there in St. Louis because they never had a match to it. You know, it was never tested. So can we test this with somebody, you know, and see, just to rule them out, if anything? No,
back in 1986, I mean, where was DNA at that time?
They really didn't know anything. Yeah.
I mean, they knew concerning DNA, but they did not have the ways to match it like they do now.
Yeah, run it through a system and it pops up some dude way away. You know, then they would have to have like, okay, here's this, and then here's this dude, and let's, you know, but to be able to put it into a database like they do now, and it just be like, bam, here's a match, you know, it's there, you know, like when I was getting my fingerprints done this time on the computer. It's like, it's all, dude, as it's rolling through, it was popping up on the screen, match in South Carolina, match in North Dakota. It was already pulling up matches of where I had my fingerprints taken previously, you know.
Now, I want you to consider this. A guy is arrested in St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
And they take him to jail on first-degree murder and 16 other felony counts. When they fingerprint him, what is it going to match to?
Only if there's a database where they're looking for something, and it, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure that there's some sort of database where they've got unsolved crimes with fingerprints, and they're like, hey, if this hits anything, they put those in the database and just label it as unknown case number, blah, 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 blah.
Precisely.
You know, and it hits on that and it says, oh, this matches an unknown subject from this case number, contact authorities here. You call them and say, hey, we've got a match on this case number. We're going to go ahead and run those prints again just to make sure. But yeah, we're getting a hit on that. That will notify those people to be like, hey, man, we got a hit on our case of a fingerprint, and it's this person located at this area. Let's look into that person a little bit more. You know, let's see what we can find on that person as far as being in our area at that time and link them to this crime. And then they'd be able to do it.
Now, that's exactly what I believe. Because I think that the first time that he was fingerprinted, that it came back with the match to the Delphi unknowns. Now, we've known pretty much since the first share press conference, or at least I put it that way, that there was likely fingerprints involved, that they had some kind of fingerprint in Delphi. Because with DNA, you can't rule out that the person had never committed a crime, just various crimes.
Various crimes, yeah.
You know, but not all crimes. But to say that it's like this man had never committed a crime or been caught committing a crime, you know, kind of says, well, they got more than DNA. And that's when I started saying that I believe they have fingerprints in Delphi. Now, when Sheriff Lesenby came out and said, well, we might have, you know, then that told me that's what came back when he got fingerprinted. And that's why they reached Carroll County.
I can see that.
It did match. And that's why they said, okay, look, we got a guy in here. Now, they didn't mention the fingerprints because this was given to the media. And if the media says they found fingerprints, then that's going to instantly make that guy a suspect. So I don't think it was given to the media outside of what we know that, hey, we arrest the guy. He looks like your sketch. He was dressed like Bridge Guy. This guy had never been caught committing a crime before. He had no DNA or fingerprints in the system. And I think that that's why Carroll County was reached. I think that they sent photos of him for the people that we know that seen him to kind of look through them and other photos and pick out maybe a guy that they seen there that day. See where I'm at?
I do. I am eating a piece of candy.
Oh, that's fine. I'm drinking Dr. Pepper. It's cool. Go ahead. Now down.
Fancy field strawberry.
God, it tastes really good for about 30 seconds, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then it's gone.
Yeah, I like that stuff, man. It's great gum for a minute.
So I do have to go to a meeting tonight.
Oh, do you still?
Yeah, it's required. So I didn't think so, but I got a phone call. Yeah, it is required.
It's required.
It's a requirement. So it's only an hour from 8 to 9, but I have to leave here probably within the next 20 minutes or so. But I'm gonna grab some Taco Bell.
Some Taco Bell.
Yeah, so I'll get off here in about 5 minutes or so.
All right. Sounds cool. Well, go ahead, man. Say stuff.
Continue until I chew this up.
Oh, yeah. Well, so anyway, that is why I feel. Now, if we look back at the traffic pullover that the suspect had, that was in October of 2018. Now, he was intoxicated. And I know that he knew that if he was arrested, that fingerprints were going to come back as a lot of matches throughout this country.
Yeah, then they got to start contacting a whole bunch of people. That's where the feds get involved.
Correct. But now that's the reason that he was so outwardly hostile toward the law enforcement officer. You know, saying like, look, man, I pay your salary, man. You know, I pay your taxes, you know, calling him an MFer and everything else. The guy did not want to go to jail. And I mean, he did get out of that. Don't know how, but he did.
Well, very smooth. That's how.
Well, smooth, possibly. It could be Mason.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they do kind of work in a manner.
That's what I meant by that. Yeah.
You know, like that. I mean, they don't really go out of their way to find another guilty or anything like that. And hey, if you're a Mason, okay, you had a few beers, go home, dude. You know, and that could be the case. But he really got off on that. But he knew time was short. And thank you, Michael. Thank you, because you know, probably in his mind, he knew that CC Moore, because when we looked into that, they said Carroll County was going to be using the same technology as what got John D. Miller. 2 months later, at the same time that John D. Miller was arrested after CC Moore took on that case, is when they nailed him. 2 months later, he raped a 77-year-old lady. The month after that, he got the traffic pullover. The month after that, Catholic supply store, sexual assault and homicide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know what? When I talked to Parabon, you know what? Dude, you really need to call them and talk to them because, dude, they're willing to give information. You know,
really?
like, yeah, I can point you to the scientist that I talked to, and we can talk to CC Moore. But that, dude, you're going to want to hear what they have to say about the DNA in Delphi. Okay, like it's something that you can probably just go on and on and on with. It's good.
That.
Yeah, it's good, dude. It's good. When I was talking to that lady, I was on the phone for like an hour, just like, man, like, wow, I'm blown away. You know, I'm just blown away that this information is coming at me. It's like, man, I feel like I'm a federal agent right now. You know, like I'm just getting the information, just bam.
Need to get on my Fed badge, you know.
Yeah, I know. Power. Where's it at right there? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I got one.
I know. I've seen it. You're a private investigator?
Yeah. Now, this is the thing. It's right there in my wallet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, every time I go to the store and I need to get something out of my wallet, you know, my card, open that up. And Ryan, because of course I'm looking down at my wallet, he's like, oh no, man, people get really kind of like, oh yes, you know, like after they see that. And I'm like, well, they can't think I'm law enforcement unless I'm deep undercover.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but anyway, I want to get one that says private consulting detective.
Yeah, I mean, you can have it say whatever you want with your name and everything.
There's only been 2 private consulting detectives, and only one of them is real. Me.
That's funny.
Thank you.
So you and I went, okay, so my notification hit the bell at the same time yours did. It says, bow, these 2 are going live. You know, or I got a video premiering, you're going live at the same time. So
yeah, people made comment of that when I started. They're like, 2 premieres at one time. And I'm like, yeah, I send you my apologies.
yeah, I was saying the same thing. They're like, man, there's 2 people going live at the same time. I'm like, well, just chill, because it's like I've only got 5 minutes of my video and then I'm heading over there, you know. So it's a quick and to the point video. So but yeah, you got to check that out when I get done, dude. Okay, so I use the PD365, and like what you were talking about with those video clips.
Yep.
Just wait, dude. It's like you're right. You can make a whole movie with it.
I know. That's what I told you. I said, you can literally sit down with those video clips and everything there and just make a video about what you're talking about without even like leaving Power Director.
That's exactly what happened.
You got the 365 with like 655 4K video clips that you can do anything with. It's like you can just sit there and make something, you know, make it, you know.
And it's good, dude. It was so good. And I've got this other one, this Epidemic Sounds program that I paid for, dude.
Yeah. How much? No, let me ask you, what do you pay for Epidemic Sound? Can you go by month, or do you have to pay a whole year?
$15 a month.
I know, but if I pay for 1 month, is that all they take is 15?
It's free for your first month. And then, yeah, it'll be 15 after that.
Yes, but can I only do 1 month of 15?
I'm sure you can. I don't see why you couldn't.
Okay, yeah, because
I just started it too, so I don't. I mean, yeah, it doesn't. It says you can stop it at any time. Your subscription.
Well, the trial you can.
Right.
But it says in the thing, because I read the thing on the trial, that at that time, if you have not said no, that then they can go by and just keep collecting monthly. So I thought, well, can I just go in and pay $15 a month, because it says 15 a month, 144 for a year. So I think if I can just go in and get 1 month, I can go in and download everything they got in 1 month.
You know what? That's exactly what I was thinking too. Was just and just take them all.
Yeah.
I've already downloaded a bunch from it.
They got all kinds of good music on there.
That's dude, they got all sorts of stuff. And you can search for what you want. Like you type in true crime or podcast, whatever you mysterious, happy, upbeat, whatever you want. You just go in there and grab them. And it's got sound effects and transition sound effects. So it's just a quick, you know what I mean? Just a quick transition. It's very, very cool program, dude. It's really it's actually really good to use for what we're doing. The game has stepped up, dude.
Dude, your game is more than stepped up. I mean, the intro you made, man, that was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yeah, I can't wait for people to see it. Yeah, I'm working on your audio too.
Oh yeah. Don't give shit away, man.
I'm not, dude, but
no,
I'm anxious for people to see it. Yeah, whisper. I want people to see it.
What? What?
Hope nobody hears us.
No, okay. On my video, because here was a big issue. I don't like recording my voice. I mean, it would be fine if I sat down and enunciate each sentence, but believe me, when you got a long script, there's no way I can just sit there and read that on Audacity. I mean, I can, but it's going to take so long, I'd get bored of doing it in probably about an hour, and I'd go, screw it. It's fine the way it is. So I'm having Greeno do the voiceover of my script, and then I'm going to edit that to video, and I send you my daily thing. Thank you very kindly.
Yeah, dude, I like doing it. It's fun. It gives me something to do.
Great. Outstanding.
You know, it definitely does.
More, because I got the second video coming, which I'll be sending this script to Greeno in full association with GP Productions.
Yes. Bam. And I got a new website coming out, dude. Went ahead and got my domain name and everything.
What is it?
Got some business cards. I can't tell you live.
Okay.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Right.
So I got a new website coming out and everything that am working on right now. It's not up yet, but you will see it. I will let you see it.
Okay.
But I think you'll like it, and I think you'll like everything that I'm doing. You're going to be on it, hopefully, after I talk to you about it.
You know what? See, now when I go back, when I got 365, because you're the one that told me to get 365.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought 365, and that was just prior to last Christmas, probably about 1 year ago. And
Right.
I got 365. Now they stepped up to Power Director 19.
Mm-hmm.
And that was probably a couple months, less than a couple, probably about a month or so ago. Now, before that, because they came out with the Shutterstock, like that's on there with the videos and all that. And I mean, it was just so much crap that I downloaded, but then I'm looking at it and I'm like, holy shit, man. I thought, man, when Greeno gets his hands on this, game over.
Game over. Bow.
Yeah.
It's over, dude. It's like,
because I thought, hell, what I can sit here and do is nothing compared to what that guy can, do with this. And I'm glad you got 365, man.
I am too, dude, and I appreciate it. But no, dude.
Wow.
So your video, yeah, I appreciate you for pointing me into the right direction so I could obtain it legally. And
well, I humbly accept. You know I am. I humbly accept where need be. Thank you.
Yeah. Michael Green says, Greeno, what new videos have you got lined up?
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually working on a series of videos, all true crime, just random crimes. The other day I posted a child killers update with Amanda Carmack from Indiana and Mark Redwine out in California, just to kind of give you an update on what their cases were going on. Today I posted a case down in Oklahoma where a bail bondsman had shot her client and the circumstances around that. They're quick videos. They're like 5-minute videos. They're straight. They're to the point. I offer no opinion in the video. I'm just bringing you the story as is. And I'm trying to get as many videos like that done so I can stay ahead of the game. And what I thought about doing was air a video, do a Q&A the next day, air a video, do a Q&A the next day. So I'm constantly bouncing back and forth. So it just gives you guys content to look at. And if people aren't interested in stopping and listening to me live for an hour or two, then they can just go in and check out the videos and it gets the information.
You know what? They'll get you a lot. I mean, with that much content going like that, man, it'll really boost your channel.
I know.
A lot of quick content like that, man. People love that.
Exactly.
And that's why I only go live once a week, unless I make a video.
Yeah.
Because really what I'm doing, I'm just repeating. I'm repeating for the last 2 years.
Right.
So I don't really have anything new to say, and I'd like to move on to other cases. But if I do, and it's not the same, then people get a little iffy on that.
I know it's hard to steer away.
Yeah. But there is going to come a time in the distant future when that will change. Because I would like to go back to what it was I was doing before Delphi. On my old channel, doing like news topics, stuff like this, food challenges, whatnot. But obviously right now on this channel, it's got to be pretty much dedicated to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's okay. Hang on. I am looking for something real quick just to see if this is what pops up. Okay. Bam. All right, man. So I'm going to have to roll out of here. I got to go. And then I will catch you later. Okay.
All right. Say peace.
All right, everybody. So I'm dropping the link to my channel in the description or in the
click
chat. In the chat, if you guys want to go to that and check out, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It's called True Crime Investigates. Thanks for having me on here this evening, man. And
no problem at all.
On that note, everybody, I'm Anthony Greeno from True Crime Investigates. Keep it Southern style, y'all.
Peace. All right, everybody. And the same applies here on my side of the scales. It's been a good show, and I wanted to cover that case because I think that a lot of people that are on my channel I mean, they don't get the full idea of what I'm talking about when I discuss Mary Pryor and Ann Paetz. This gets very involved back into the person that I call a suspect in Delphi, Evansdale, and the murder and rape of Mary Pryor and Ann Paetz. I think it all plays in identically because all these, aside of Evansdale, I mean, to my knowledge, there was no DNA and fingerprints left, and I don't think that anybody particularly seen the suspect. But the rest of these do fall in. Delphi, fingerprints, DNA, nobody to match to. Mary Pryor and Ann Paetz, fingerprints, DNA, nobody to match to. I got the route from his place in St. Louis to his family's. It takes the Hoosier Heartland right past Monon High Bridge Trail. And just for anybody that wants to know, let me go over the math real quick. Oh, wait, not really there so much. Hang on. Well, apparently it is. Okay. All right. Let me see. Yeah, okay. There we are. Oh, that isn't it. What in the world? Hold on. There we go. All right. So in Carroll County, and I want to be really kind of clear on the math. In all of Carroll County, and Delphi is the county seat of Carroll County. Carroll County has a population of 20,000 people. Now, if you take 20,000 and divide that in half to find males, you will find 10,000 males living in Carroll County. At ages 18 to 40, which is 36% of the male population, that would be 3,600 males ages 18 to 40. Remove males out of 3,600 people that have blue eyes, which is 10% of the overall population, and you get 3,240 people or males without blue eyes. Now, remove all of those that have been arrested. In Carroll County, the most of the males between the ages of 18 and 40 have probably been to jail at least one time, and I would put that at 1/3. Because ages 18 to 40, that's when you go to jail in life. Believe me, I've been 18 to 40. I've been in jail, in my life. So if you remove 1/3 of those, it comes down to 2,200 men. Now, you could go further than that and remove those that were slender, those that were short, those that don't fit the description. But you could narrow that right down to probably less than 2,000 men that you would go look for, right there. Now, I'm going to ask, 2,000 men for the FBI, local and state authorities to look through beats 70,000 phoned-in tips that they have to investigate by a long shot. Now, let's go the route that law enforcement has advised, that they believe that the guy is from the Delphi area. Well, Delphi has a population of 3,500 people. Now, if you divide that in half to get the males, you'd have 1,750 males. Now, take out 36% of that, which are ages 18 to 40. You have 1,167 men. Now, divide out 10% with blue eyes, and you get 1,057 men. Now, with 1,057 men, you could start removing them by body build rather easily. And that would give you it would give you about 700 men that you would have to look at. And again, 700 men in comparison to 70,000 phone-in tips, quite different. That would be very easy to do. Now, I'm going to say, because law enforcement is telling us that we feel that this guy's from the Delphi area. Let me tell you, let me look you right in the eye, YouTube. If that man was from around Delphi, he would have been caught within 3 days of the crime. After they released the photos, he would have been hit like that quick, that fast. Nobody that lives in Delphi did not see that picture. No one. Now, you would think that if the guy was from around Delphi, that somebody would say, hey, I seen what's his name there that like that, and he was dressed like it too, man, just exactly like that. It would have been easy for them to catch him if he was from around the Delphi area. Now, let's take this out to Evansdale. The very same applies. They say it had to have been somebody from Evansdale area, somebody that was familiar with Seven Bridges Park, somebody from Black Hawk County. But I disagree with that too. I do, because I do feel that Evansdale and Delphi are duplicate crimes made with the same method of operation, identically. Small towns, small trail, hiked but not heavily, small trail right next to a highway. It was more secure for the suspect, or he felt more secure to go there and look for opportunity. Then both girls, in both cases, were found at a later date murdered. Both bodies were found by a creek in the woods. And both cases, the dates are reversible. The odds of that happening are extremely, extremely, extremely large. So to say that there have been a total of 16 times since 1974, this is an FBI statistic, that 2 girls were abducted in broad daylight. 16 times. Now, over half of those, because they were solved, were done by friends or family or friends of the family. In almost every case, the ones that are not and unsolved, which would be less than 8, and Evansdale and Delphi are included in those. Exact duplicates of each other on a reversible date. Now, I think that that's what hit the FBI. When they seen this, I think that they said, we got to get an agent out there, for the reason of, if those girls are found and they are dead, we want available information on that as quick as possible so that we can nail this guy if it's the same. And I believe that it is the same. I believe that both of them are the same. And I believe the same guy did both. And I think you guys already knew that already. So with that, and I should have my video out this week with Greeno doing the voiceover. I thank you all very much. I thank all mods, and I appreciate everybody's time this evening. Everybody have a fantastic week. Peace.